Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. Thank you so much for watching and listening today. I've got a great show planned, as usual. I am a life coach, and as a life coach, I help people handle their problems. And I'm also a medium, and I touch in with our spirits on the other side. My message that I love to say to people more than anything is to let people know they have the power to change their lives. And sometimes we think we don't have the power to change our lives, but we always do. Today's coaching tip is all about shifting perspectives on our problems. I've been taking watercolor painting lessons for a few years, and she basically does 2 sessions, 6-week session in the fall and a 6-week session in the spring. So I probably had, maybe 5 sessions over my time. And this last session, we were learning how to paint clouds. And it sounds so very easy, doesn't it? You just paint clouds. She spent a lot of time showing us how to do it, telling us about the cloud formations, what kind of clouds did what, the types, the names, everything. It reminded me actually of a 6th grade science class I took a million years ago. Her theory is that if we have a thorough understanding of what we're painting, we'll have more accuracy with our painting and it will be more lifelike. Unfortunately, my clouds did not look like clouds. They looked like chunks of concrete. They weren't fluffy. They weren't stormy. They just looked horrible. They were too delineated. It didn't look like any kind of cloud at all. She explained it to us several times and still I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it. So I went home and I started researching this. I wanted to see how you do watercolor clouds. There had to be other ways. I went through sheets and sheets of paper trying to do this, trying to change my perspective and make it work. Get a nice looking cloud on a piece of paper. There had to be a solution. And I said to myself, I am not going to let a cloud defeat me. And then after quite a bit of time, I finally got it. And I managed to paint a cloud that looked like a cloud. It was a miracle. And it involved a total shift in how I looked at clouds and how I understood this problem. So when you have a problem, whatever it is, do you let it defeat you? Do you try a little bit and then give up? I know somebody who does that. Or are you willing to look at something, try it, shift your perspective, understand the problem and give it another go? For an obvious metaphor, we have clouds are like our problems. We can have simple little fluffy problems, or we can have those huge stormy ones that shake up our lives. I solved my painting issue with 2 actions. First, I did some research. I got more information. I learned what I could about the problem so I could have a better understanding. I looked for the facts of how to do this. And then after I got that, and I got out of the emotions of being frustrated that I couldn't seem to get this simple little exercise down, after I got out of that, I realized that when I was looking at clouds, I was looking at it from the wrong perspective. I was looking at them from a perspective that wasn't helping me. In watercolor painting, we want to maintain and preserve those white parts on the paper. So you have to think of painting the blue around the clouds, keeping that white in there. And I was having a hard time visualizing this because I was thinking of clouds as white on top of blue, rather than blue around white. I wanted to paint the clouds the way I thought it should be, and it just wasn't working. And trying to do it the other way was very unnatural to me, so it did take me some time to figure this out and process it, get this new perspective. I had to change this perspective and how I looked at the problem. And as I thought about it more, I had further information on how to paint the clouds. But more importantly, I had figured out that my thoughts were in the wrong place. My perspective was wrong. And I had to release that view and look at it from a whole new angle. When we're stuck in a limited viewpoint, we have a problem, we're stuck there, we obsess about it, we think all the time, we think we have to handle our problem in a certain way, that there's only one answer. We might only be able to see one solution. And that's when our problems can make us frustrated, angry, irritated, upset. And that's where we might give up. We might let them defeat us. But what's happening is our emotions are blocking us from looking at the problem in a different perspective. One way to get rid of the emotions is to see the facts, to learn everything you can about the situation. That helps open you up to find those new perspectives. So let's say you have a problem of not being able to find the right partner. That's a big one for so many people. So you might start overthinking and you start to wonder, what's How come I can't find somebody? And this turns into some kind of a perception that you're not good enough to find anybody. You're not good enough for other people to love you. But the problem with this perception is it creates those negative emotions. You'll have self-criticism. You might have sadness, frustration, and it keeps you trapped in that perception that you're not good enough, that there is something wrong with you. Maybe when that happens, you start to feel like, I'm going to give up. It's just not worth it. There must not be anybody good out there anyway. So you kind of just give up and you stop trying. But to let go of those negative emotions, you have to look at the facts, because the facts of a situation where you haven't found somebody are just the facts that you haven't found somebody yet. That's all it is. The facts are not that there's something wrong with you. The facts are not that you're not good enough to find somebody. The facts are not that you're not good enough to be loved. All it is the facts that you haven't found the right person. They haven't come into your life yet. That's it. Now, unless you've said or done something that proves that you are not good enough, that there is something wrong with you, there's probably nothing wrong with you. A more empowering perception would just be to look at it and value yourself, to trust that the right one will come into your life at the right time. So value yourself rather than putting yourself down because it's working out the way you want it to. When you have a problem, instead of getting trapped in that certain perception, or another perception, one that's more empowering, one that tells you you are strong enough to handle your problems, one that doesn't put yourself down as not being good enough or unworthy or not valued, and doesn't keep you stuck in the negative emotions. So let's look at another short little problem just so we can see, so you can understand this. Let's say who's not talking to you, they're talking to you for whatever reason. They seem to think you've something wrong. You could worry about what they think of you, what they might be telling other people. You could put yourself down because you start to think, well, maybe I did do something. I don't know what it is, but maybe I did something. And then you might feel guilty. To help you choose a more empowering perspective, what you want to do is look at the facts. The facts are the person has stopped. That's their issue. It's not yours. If you really did do something, then apologize and move on. If you didn't do anything, then don't be guilty. Don't feel guilty. Don't be upset about it. Switch into the perception that you did the best you could and it's not your problem. There are so many different ways to look at problems, but this is one of the ways I like to use sometimes to help me get out of my emotions, because when we have a problem, what's happening is we're getting stuck in our emotions and it makes us feel badly. So to detach from those emotions, we start looking at those facts. We start saying, okay, what's really happening? And we start getting trapped in those emotions. We go backwards. We got to say, nope, we're not going to do it. We're going to check this out. And then after you've detached a little bit from your emotions, you might be able to come up with a better perspective, see the problem from a different angle, which could help you solve the problem. At the very least, you'll feel better. What'll happen is you'll be reclaiming your power and not letting a problem defeat you. I am not much of one for giving up on a problem. If I have a problem, I'm going to keep going, keep working on it, trying to make it happen. So try these ideas out the next time you have a problem and see if it helps you solve a little issue that you might have. So you can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com and on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, Medium and Self-Empowerment Coach. And I do want to tell you that my online course, Happy and Unstoppable, which is basically strategies to help you handle your problems so you can become your happiest self, is going to go live in the middle of May. It is amazing. I'm so excited about it. If you want the best discount possible, you will want to sign up for my mailing list on Colleen, psychicmediumcolleen.com or ColleenVanderzyden.com. That will give you the best discount, and it is going to be an amazing discount. Like, I'm thinking $120 off. So if you're interested at all in being happier, let me know. Just sign up, and then you'll be getting that email with the discount code. So we are going to go on to our first caller, who is Cheryl from Alberta, Canada. Cheryl, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. I've just been listening to you and just having a great time here.
Oh, I'm glad you are. It's always fun.
Well,
Yeah, it's fun to
I
listen.
found what you were saying very interesting.
Yeah, we all have problems, and sometimes we get stuck in them. And everything that I teach, I've experienced because I've been stuck in my problems quite a bit. So how can I help you today?
I was wondering about my health.
Okay. Now, It is interesting to me because I do feel some nagging things for you. Do you have a couple things that have been kind of just bothering you? Not feeling anything huge, just little things here and there that just bother you. Are you having some things like this?
I've been having trouble with my liver.
Okay. And are you noticing other symptoms that are related? Now, I don't know anything about the liver, so I'm just going to tell you what I'm feeling. Are you experiencing any kind of symptoms that have to do with your digestion, like your stomach bothering you or bathroom issues, things like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I'm feeling a bit of that.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm feeling a little bit of that. It just gives me this, it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I'm not feeling anything really huge, but it just bothers me a little bit. And it's also making me wonder if you're eating the right foods. So if you have some intolerances to foods or things like that. Okay. Now, with the liver issue, is this something you've been monitoring for some time?
Yes.
Okay. And they've been checking the levels of something. They've been checking the levels of something, and I'm not feeling a huge change in this. Has there been a huge change? I'm not feeling one.
No, it's basically been staying about the same.
Okay, good.
It's getting a little worse, but they want me to try a drug trial to see if that will help.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I'm not feeling, sometimes when people ask about health or I touch in with them, I can feel all sorts of stuff happening. And I'm not really feeling that. I'm just getting nothing. It seems fairly stable to me. And I'm not too concerned about it as yet. Okay. I don't feel like all of a sudden there's going to be a big shift. When you mentioned the medication, though, I did get a really strange feeling, and that may be related to what I was feeling with stomach issues or something. I don't know if there will be side effects with that might affect your stomach, okay? So obviously, if you're going to do a trial or something, they're going to let you know, or you're going to let them know what you're experiencing. I'm not feeling like, I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose nor prescribe all of those things, but I'm not feeling like if you do this trial that it's going to be a bad thing, okay? Like if you have side effects, I don't feel them being so overwhelming that you're like, no way, I'm not doing this anymore, okay? I'm actually not feeling you doing that right away. I feel like you take more time, that you want to have more results, blood work or whatever it is, results before you do that. It seems like you don't want to jump right into it. And sometimes you spend quite a bit of little time. How's that for a bad sentence? You spend quite a bit of time sometimes thinking about what the long-term ramifications could be of this. Do you actually kind of get stuck in that sometimes? Yeah.
Sometimes. And I was on a drug trial about a year ago, and it almost killed me.
Oh my gosh, really? Okay, I'm not feeling that with a new one, so I can understand your hesitancy if you're not sure about doing that. I'm not feeling that, so that would be craziness. And I understand, that sometimes you start thinking, okay, how is this going to be, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line? And, whenever I start touching into something like that, I always want to tell people to come back to the present moment, to be here in the present and not get too far ahead in our thoughts, because that's when our emotions start to overwhelm us. And that's when we start to feel badly about things. And you'll notice that if you start to worry about something on occasion, that it can take you down a spiral really quickly where all of a sudden you were feeling okay. And then the next thing you know, yeah, exactly. And so you'll notice that. So if you catch yourself doing that, just come back to the present and go, in this moment, everything is just fine. In this moment, everything is perfect. And that will take you right back here. Because I do understand that you are a pretty optimistic person, really. You do try to look for the positive in things, and it's perfectly normal and natural and human for us to fall down the worry trap on occasion. But, you're a pretty optimistic person. You try to look for the best. And that's helping you probably more than anything, because you are trying to look for the best and trying not to let it get to you. So you're doing the right things. Like I said, I do feel like you're going to be waiting a little bit before you try the next one. It may be partially because you need to be convinced, but also it's like you want facts. You want to know that your blood work or whatever is really showing that you need something else, you want to make sure of that.
Right.
Interesting. On that last trial or the upcoming one you might do, would they be doing like an IV to give you the medicine?
Usually not. Usually it's just pills, and then they monitor your blood and everything, usually once a month.
Okay, because I'm getting like an IV thing, and it reminds me of a transfusion, but it's not a transfusion. So I don't know what it is. I am not a medical person, but I am seeing something like that. So just remember I said that in case it makes sense later, because I'm not really sure what I'm saying to you, but I can see that happening. So I'm not sure.
Well, I know that last time they took like 16 vials of blood out of me, and it was almost like a transfusion coming out instead of going in.
Coming out. Okay, well, this feels like going in, so that's okay.
Okay.
It feels like it's giving you something that way. So there's something to that. It'll be interesting to see if that turns out to be true. But I have to tell you again, I am not feeling a huge problem here for you with this. I'm really not. So if it changes, it's not a drastic change. I'm just not feeling it. So that's good. That's good news. So we're just going to hold on to that forever. It's forever.
Can I ask you another question quickly?
Sure.
How do you see our finances? Do you see them turning around?
Yeah, that's a little trickier. Well, we all have certain questions we all ask. We all want to know certain things. That does not feel like it's a big change coming on that. It feels like we've taken a dip, and it's like we're kind of staying there. I don't feel a huge change going down, but I'm not feeling a huge change either. So it seems to go up and down a bit. Okay, so just stay stable. Stable is always good as well. Okay, Cheryl, it was really nice talking to you. Good luck with all of that.
Thank you
I hope
very
it works
much.
out really well. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye. And that was Cheryl from Canada. And now we're going to move on to Leah from New Hampshire in the United States. Leah, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you today?
I just had a question about, so I've been seeing a lot of like synchronicities and like signs and things like that. I just wanted to see if there was like reasoning behind it, if I'm on the right path, if I'm not understanding.
I love that question. I just do. Because as soon as you started talking, I could feel in your energy like this lightness. It feels like you're a very light person. When I say a light person, that means somebody who operates from a high vibration, somebody who tries to do their best, that kind of thing. But they're also a kind, caring, loving person. And I could tell that as soon as you said something. It was actually quite clear. And you're somebody, too, that is here on this earth to help other people, to reassure them. And I would anticipate by that you also have a great deal of empathy and compassion. Would you consider yourself to be an empathetic person?
I would very much.
Yeah, okay, good. I want to make sure I'm really tuned into you, but yes, you definitely are. There's no question in my mind about that, because you do pick up on other people's energies and things like that. And this time right now that we are in the world, the consciousness is shifting, as you've probably heard. And there are so many things happening now. And manifestation, the things we want to come into our lives, are coming in much faster. So all those people worrying about not being able to find a person, don't worry, it's going to happen a lot faster than you think. So manifestation is happening faster. And along with that is coming all of these signs that people are experiencing. You are more aware than the average person, aren't you?
I think so.
Yeah, you are. I'll tell you are. If you're not sure, I'll tell you. Because you are more aware. of what's happening around you. Many people won't even pick up a sign. They won't see it. If they see it, they dismiss it, as not being real. But you picked up the signs. You're seeing things. You're having synchronicities. Things seem to be happening a little bit faster in your life than they used to be. And it's normal to kind of go, whoa, what's going on? I'm questioning this. Why am I questioning this? What's happening? Does this mean I'm on the right path? And for you, it does mean you're on the right path because you have a lot of guidance on the other side. Do you have a grandmother on the other side who would have passed, who would have been the person who always wants to know what's happening in people's lives and is a very reassuring, kind, caring person?
Yes.
Okay. And are you a lot like her by any chance?
I think in some ways.
Yeah, you're like her in those ways, with the kind, caring, the wanting to help other people way. She can get a little bit strict and impatient at times with certain people and situations, and kind of let people, know what she really thought. You're not really like that so much. You're not quite as outspoken as she can be on occasion. Let's just leave it at that. But I can feel her presence coming in right now, actually. And as she's coming in, she's giving me such a nice feeling of guiding you. Okay. So I know, of course, you probably have other guides as well, but I feel the sense of her guiding you, wanting to make sure you're doing the right thing. Would she have been a religious person?
Very religious.
Okay. Because that's the feeling of religion, and along with that, sometimes people who have a certain religion believe things should be a certain way, and it becomes a very large part of how they operate in life. And so there is a bit of that feeling coming in of wanting to make sure you're on the right path. And for her, it's a little more narrow than is necessary for you, because you're a more spiritual person and you look at things from your own angles, and you're not the kind of person that's just going to believe something just because that's, what our whole family has believed forever, but we've never explored it really. That's not really you.
Yeah.
If it makes sense, you're good with it. But if it doesn't make sense, you're like, no way. I'm not doing it. And her view is a little more narrow, but that's okay, because she's telling me that you are going down the right path. She's telling me that she approves of the path you're on, and not to worry so much about how you're going to get someplace or what the end result's going to be, all of that stuff. You don't need to do that. It's just a matter of trusting that it's going to unfold for you just the way it's supposed to. And it's going to unfold that way. Did she have one of those crucifixion crosses in her house?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All of a sudden I was seeing one of those, and actually more than one of those. And do you know, too, now this is interesting, does she also have a necklace with a crucifixion on it?
Yes.
Wow, really? Okay, because I can see that too. And I'm thinking, whoa, this is something. So she's got her thing going there. And who has the rosary? There's a rosary someplace.
I have it. My dad gave it to me, and I keep it with me every single day.
That is so interesting. That's so interesting to me. Which totally explains why she's here and, coming in and talking about things and talking about that path, and I have to say, I do like her quite a bit. It's such a nice energy with her, because there's a feeling of, what do I want to call it? There's a discipline with her. She's very disciplined about how she does things. But there's also persistence about her. So if something doesn't work out, or she has a problem or whatever it is, she's just going to keep going, and she's going to figure it out. And she will let people know in no uncertain terms that they are not on the right path. Oh, okay. So I guess it's really good that she's letting you know you are on the right path, because she would tell people if you're not on the right path. She would let them know. And oh my gosh, she really would let them know. Yeah, so very interesting. And okay, where was she going with all this? She's so much fun. She really is fun. I like her. Okay, this is Interesting. Okay, now I don't know if I'm digressing or what's happening right now, and I'm just going to bring this up. And I'm not saying anybody has this now. Okay, what I'm getting the impression of is under my arm. You know how when you have a lymph node problem under there, or somebody may have had breast cancer, and there's some lymphatic issues in the arm. Do you have somebody in your family who would have had something like that?
She did.
Oh. Okay, good. I don't want to create anybody else having it. Okay, so good. Okay, so that's just further proof that I'm talking to her. But well done. She's a lovely spirit. So she just wants to make sure we're really sure on that. She says, okay, she's talking about your smile and how you will smile so very much. You will laugh at things that other people might get upset about. You'll just be like, oh yeah, oh oops, sorry, or oops, look what just happened, So you have a very nice smile, she says, and she says because of that you smile at a lot of people and you get a lot of responses back from people. So you must have quite a few friends or something because you're just like always smiling at everybody. So she's loving this. She is totally loving this. She wants me to make sure that I tell you how much she loves you and how proud she is of you because you are open to creating the life you want to have and you're doing it. She wants to make sure you say hi to everybody in the family. And if you don't, she is not going to be happy about that. She's very clear on that, let me tell you. She wants everybody to know. And did she also have a sewing machine and who has it?
I don't know who has it, but yes, she used to sew and knit all the time.
Okay, because she's mentioning the sewing machine and giving me the impression somebody has it.
When my grandfather passed away, they actually ended up cleaning out the house very fast, and they actually threw away and got rid of pretty much everything, which was kind of hard. I didn't know if she was upset about that or...
Yeah, well, they usually don't care about that, but I think the sewing was important to her, so she just acknowledges that. That's all. Yeah. So it's not like go find it and get it back. Don't do that. Right. So, but she does mention that as well. So she sends you so much love. So Leah, you just stay on your path, and you're doing great. She loves you, and you've got this grandma seal of approval here. So thank you so much. It was so nice talking to you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You have a good day. And that was Leah from New Hampshire. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. And you can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com or be brave, ColleenVanderzyden.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And this week, just pay attention. If you have any problems and you get stuck in an emotion, just step back a little bit, look at the facts, and see if you can't shift your perspective. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.